On this channel, we talk about pretty much whatever strikes our fancy, but there is a lot of alternative sports, some books, some beer, bubbles, bikes, things like that, things that I like. And I do ask that you please like and subscribe like everybody else does, but this channel is created basically to try to drive clicks to our Amazon and eBay stores. So every click is appreciated. We're going to do a much better job about keeping those links down below. But also anytime you use the hashtag MIG Atlanta, it helps, or hashtag Citizen Arcane, or just at LinBetty, which is the Twitter and the eBay shop at the moment, although that might change. So originally I intended to make a power ranking of these outdoor spring football teams that I thought might actually take the field in 2022, but with the XFL not coming out until at least 2023, and a lot of the other players, including like the Freedom Football League, which I don't think is ever gonna take the field, and Major League Football, which now I'm beginning to think is going to be an investment group that wants to plug into some other football league, buy into some other football league, although I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. I do want to say, I always said that I would never forgive Vince McMahon for a second quitting, basically a second time that he left the league that he started. In 2001, it was a big deal for me. I really enjoyed it. I was overseas at that time, and my dad was sending me VHS tapes, which was great. That one ended because that was kind of a poor product. That one ended basically because it just wasn't structured right to succeed. Now the second one, when they were playing, they got hit with COVID like so many other things. It was a great product. People liked it. It was going to survive. I think there might have been some teams moved and a few other things, but I was really surprised when he just cut the cord and was out. And then when Danny Garcia and Dwayne Johnson bought it, and then they got that Redbird Capital money behind them, I really thought they were going to be aggressive. I wish they had followed Dana White's advice and been much more aggressive and really come back and hit it hard, but they're playing it slow, I guess, making sure that all their ducks are in order. But I do find Vince McMahon guilty of being a quitter, and I just think that the current management is being overcautious. I like that the USFL is probably going to have one or maybe a few seasons as above the league, because this is probably going to be a TV product for me mostly anyway, unless I get one of my wishes, which would be that Atlanta gets a team. And if they brought back the Legends, I would change the name to the Kings or something. But I think that could work, and that would be a lot of fun. Anyway, I wound up sort of creating this huge, overly complicated, impossible wish list. But I do think that it would be cool as a fan to have a two-tiered relegation-based league, 64 teams, 64 markets, and every year half of the first tier would go down and half of the bottom tier would come up. And so that would really provide an incentive. It would also make it a lot more interesting for the fan, because even if your team was losing, you would still have a reason to to tune in, because if your team was bad, you wouldn't want them to get relegated. And another quick note is that the first tier for me, I would want to slowly migrate towards the fall, which would be an annoyance to the fan, especially if you're the team, if your team schedule changes significantly. But I would like to see that. I think that would be a lot of fun, although I do understand that any league that tries to compete with the NFL is also competing with NCAA football. And while I do sincerely hope that the NFL crumbles, I don't know that that's realistic, and I don't know that there's room enough for another fall professional league. The money, it's just not there. Anyway, so I came up with this, again, extravagant map that I'm going to share with you. But today I'm just going to go over the 8 teams of my Pacific Conference that I would like to see. Again, after the first year, 4 teams would stay in the first tier and 4 teams would go to the bottom tier. Team number 1 is the Vancouver Salmon. It's a big city. There's 675,000 people there. The BC Lions play from August to December, so there wouldn't be much overlap, if any at all, and I think that could work. The Spokane Shock would be my second team. Now I realize that that's an indoor team, but again, one of the things that I would really demand if I was the city and I was going to support one of these teams is that the name and logo become property of the city. So, you could have a city that has multiple teams with the same name in multiple sports, and that's something that I just think should be at the bare minimum when people are negotiating for things like stadiums and support from the city. Birmingham has already spent $500,000, which I know is not much when it comes to Major League Football, but they should get something for it. And one of the things that they should get is that the Stallions could never leave Birmingham, at least the logo and the statistics. Okay, Team 3 then. I've got the Seattle Sea Lions, which is taken from the Spring League. I like the logo. It fits. I feel like that the Spring League I know that the Spring League has a lot of management, and I'll go into that a little bit more, with the USFL. There's back and forth, so that could work. My Team 4 is the Portland Lumberjacks. I just feel like Oregon is kind of a football desert, a sporting desert, except for the NCAA, and I think they could and would support a team. I know that the AFL tried the Thunder and the Steel, and that didn't work, but it could be done. Team 5 for me is the Oakland Invaders. They were an original USFL team. I'd like to see an updated look again. I'll show you one of the things that's out there floating around the internet. And it's one of those teams. Oakland is one of those cities that the NFL has just treated very, very badly. I know Marshawn Lynch is involved with bringing the Panthers up there in the indoor football league, and that's hopefully going to work out. But Oakland. Team 6 for me, I'm choosing the Los Angeles Express. I was never a big fan of the Express branding, but I really didn't like XFL 1.0's Extreme. It just looked extremely corporate and bland to me, which is an odd thing to come out of Vince McMahon. I did like the look of the Wildcats of XFL 2.0. I did like that they were playing in a smaller stadium, and they sort of recognized, one, that you have to have Los Angeles if you're going to have a team, if you're going to have a league with a national footprint, but two, that it's going to really take a lot to fill a major stadium in Los Angeles, just because of the nature of the city and how it's spread out. And I don't know a lot about that. I did live in California in the late 1980s, but yeah. Anyway, team number 7 for me is the Hawaiians, taken from the World League of American Football. I realize that that is a bit of a stretch, but Hawaii does have a football culture. They have the Rainbow Warriors. They have. I think that it could work, but of course with the travel and that could make things really interesting. And team 8 for me is the Anchorage Polar Bears. That works for me. I think it could be fun. And I'd like to know what you think. There's going to be several more videos because I'm going to have all 64 of these teams that I've sort of grabbed and snagged from other things, and just to get your thoughts. Again, please do like and subscribe, and thank you so much.